and welcome back. I'm Joseph Hoffman, and today we're learning how to play a traditional folk song called Black Snake. Before we learn it, let's have a listen to Black Snake.
Black snake, where are you hiding? Black snake, where are you hiding? Black snake, where are you hiding? Don't you bite me. Black snake, where are you hiding? Black snake, where are you hiding? Black snake, where are you hiding? Don't you bite me.
Here's the score for Black Snake. Let's do our usual checklist. Whenever I'm learning a new piece, I love to check the tempo indication first off, because that will kind of tell me the mood or the speed or tempo of the piece. Moderato means kind of a medium tempo. Treble and bass staff. What's our time signature? If you said 4/4, you're correct. Now, just kind of scan through the first line and tell me what you notice. Lots of staccati. And we've got lots of chords in the left hand. Looks like the melody's up in the right hand. Oh, and here we have one of our interesting syncopated rhythms. Eighth note, quarter note, eighth note. That can be a tricky rhythm. So let's come to the heartbeat mat to try it out. All right, first a quick rhythm review. What can you tell me about this rhythm right here? If you said there are 2 eighth notes, you're correct. Each gets 1/2 of the beat. Now, there's another way you can draw 2 eighth notes. If you add a flag to the stem, that also makes it an eighth note. This would have the exact same sound, T-T, or 1 and. Now, the reason that's useful is sometimes we want to split these up. In Black Snake, when the music goes, where are you, we have an eighth note followed by a quarter note. Now, you know an eighth note takes up 1/2 of a beat, but a quarter note needs a full beat. So it's going to take up 1/2 of beat 1 and the first 1/2 of beat 2. So we have 1 and 2 and. Can you count that with me? Let's say 1 and for beat 1 and 2 and for beat 2. And we'll clap it like this. 1 and 2 and. Try it 3 times in a row. Go. 1 and 2 and. 1 and 2 and. 1 and 2 and. This is called syncopation, because we have a lot happening on the and of the beat. You may recall this rhythm from KK Kool-Aid in a previous lesson. Now we're seeing it again in Black Snake. So we have where are you, or ti-ta-ti, and then on hiding, it's followed with 2 eighth notes and a quarter note, ti-ti-ta. Let's practice this rhythm now with rhythm syllables. It will sound like this, ti-ta-ti-ti-ti-ta. Can you sing and clap that with me? Let's do it 3 times in a row. Go. Ti-ta, ti-ti-ti-ta. Ti-ta, ti-ti-ti-ta. Ti-ta, ti-ti-ti-ta. And that makes where are you hiding? Now I'm showing you the rhythm for the end of Black Snake, where we have don't you bite me. Rest, rest. This is a half rest. And I remember it's half because it kind of looks like a hat, and hat sounds like half. A half rest gets 2 beats, just like a half note takes up 2 beats. So let's practice saying this rhythm together. We'll say 2 for the half notes and ti-ta-ti for this syncopated rhythm here. And rest, rest for the half rest. Try to say it with me. Ready, go. 2, ti-ta-ti-2. Rest, rest. Nice. Now back to the sheet music. Let's check out how to play the right hand part here. What letter do we start on? You said D, you're correct. Finger 1 is on D. D, 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 D. Then, wow, a fairly large skip here. Can you tell me the interval from here to here? We have D up to B, which is the interval of a sixth. Normally our hand is just spanning 5 notes, so we've got to just go up a little bit from do to la, so. Then after do, la, so, then we skip down to F sharp for mi, re, do. We must be in the key of D major because we have that F sharp and we seem to be centered on do for D. Let's try to play this. All right, let's place our right hand in the D major pentascale. And you'll see by looking at the first 4 quarter notes that they're marked staccato. So a quick review of how to play a good staccato. You want to keep your fingers close to the keys and let your wrist lift slightly as you play the note. So the first 4 notes will sound like this. Now, you try. Good. Now, let's look at the next measure. So we start with a finger 1 on D, and you'll notice in the score, the curved line over these notes tells us that now instead of staccato, we'll be playing legato, smoothly. So we'll go from D up to B, and remember that B is 1 step above the top note of the pentascale. So you're going to just gently reach over or shift your fingers up 1 key to get to this B, then you step down to A, then finger 3 has to stretch a little bit to F sharp to get back in position, mi, re, do. Now watch that all together. We have do, la, so, mi, re, do, and the lyrics are, where are you hiding? Now, you try. First, let's just practice going do, la, so. Now your turn. Now try mi, re, do. Your turn. Now we're going to put that together. Do, la, so, mi, re, do. You try. Good. Now press pause and practice that measure 5 times on your own. Where are you hiding? Until it's really comfortable. And remember the rhythm too. Ti-ta, ti-ti-ti-ta. Press play again when you're ready to go on. Now let's check out measures 3 and 4. Can you look at these notes and tell me what's the same or what's different from measures 1 and 2? You'll notice a lot's the same, but certain notes are different. Here we had D, 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 D. This time we have F sharp, D, D, D. I'm going to circle any notes that are different because that's where we're going to have to really watch out, right? The music that I find the hardest is when it's mostly the same, but just one little thing that's different, because that can be where it trips you up. So in your own music, I encourage you to circle this F sharp, D, D, D. Now, you get here and you're like, oh, that looks like this, right? But you've got to be really careful. Can you find the one note in measure 4 that's different from measure 2? And this is why I say you've got to check every note. Sometimes a composer will change one note, and that can catch you off guard if you're not careful. Where's the one note that changes? It's right here. So in your own music, please circle this E. Here it was a D, this time it's an E, and it becomes where are you hiding? It's just a little bit different this time. Let's try to play it. All right, in measure 3, this first note is on mi, or F sharp, so we have mi, do, do, do. Now you try. Good, and I hope you remembered the staccatos. Now, going on to the next measure, we will play an E, so we'll use finger 2 this time instead of finger 1 on D. Remember, we have this E, and then we're back up to La, So. So let's practice that once. Can you play Re, La, So? Your turn. And then after that, we finish with mi, re, do. Your turn. Good, now let's put it together. Re, la, so, mi, re, do. Your turn. Good. Now press pause and please practice those two measures 5 times by yourself. Then press play when you're ready to go on. Now, let's check out measures 5 and 6. Are these the same or different from something we've played before? It's looking the same as measures 1 and 2. Did you check every note? Remember how tricky music can be. But if we check every note, it looks exactly the same. Now, the notes do look a little more spread out. Does that change how we play it? No, that never changes it. Doesn't matter how far apart you spread the notes. The tempo is the same unless you see a symbol that tells you otherwise. So let's check out these last 2 measures. Are these the same or different from something we've seen before? Here's something that's totally different. So to analyze the form of Black Snake, we had the first 2 measures, and then these next 2 measures, measures 3 and 4, mostly the same but a little different. So that's usually marked with the same letter but a prime symbol. So we had A prime, A for measures 5 and 6, and then we end with something different. This is a form I don't think we've seen before. A prime, A, B. Now let's figure out what's happening here. Tell me the letter name that we start on for measure 7. You said E, you're correct. And then what interval do we have here? We go up a 4th, E to A, then down a 3rd to F sharp, step down, step down. That makes don't you bite me. Notice our syncopated rhythm here. Ti-ta, ti-tu. And then what kind of rest do you see here at the end? It kind of looks like a hat, so it's a half rest. 1, 2 on the half note, then 3, 4 for the half rest. Let's try to play it. All right, let's try measures 7 and 8. We start on an E half note. 1, 2, remember, make sure you count 2 beats on that half note, and then up to A, you bite me. So let's practice just you bite me. Ready, go. Good, now let's connect that with don't. So my turn. Don't you bite me. Rest. Now your turn. Good. Now that we know all the sections of Black Snake, I'd like you to press pause and try the whole song 3 times, just the right hand. Then press play when you're ready to watch me play the whole song for you from the beginning. All right, I'll play the whole thing now from the beginning. If you'd like, you can try playing along with me, or you can just listen. From the beginning, I'll count 4 beats and then start. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice work today learning the melody of Black Snake. Practice every day until you can play it really confidently with no missed notes, and then you'll be ready to learn the left hand. Remember to watch out for those notes that change in each repetition of the main theme. Thanks for watching, and see you next time. Hey, Scuba. Yeah? Which river are you sure to find snakes in? Which river? I don't know. The Mississippi River. Oh, yeah. Nice. Okay, I've got a snake joke for you, too. All right. What did the snake give to each of her kids before bed? I don't know. A good night hiss.
Oh, yeah. Good one.
Anybody want a good night hiss? Snake kiss. Do you want a good night hiss? Mwah.